Hello everyone. So welcome to Spentarn learning platform, and today we are going to discuss list and tuple. So this is our next lecture in the Python series. So let's start this lecture. So basically, first of all, you have to know what is list. As you have already studied in the Java, C or C++, the array, right? So array is something which contains the same kind of data, right? So for an example, if I just make a list here, so first of all, you have to know how the list start. So to make a list, you must have to know that here we use the square brackets, right? So now it is our list. Now it is right now empty. I can give you here the example. I will write type of A, right? If I just print B, let's see what it will give. Okay, it is giving me class of list, right? So from this, you can understand that if I'm just making a kind of square bracket, right? So it is considered to be a list in the Python. Now what I'm going to do is I can give it here any kind of data type. This is the benefit of using the list in the Python. So I'm just giving it 1 and then I'm giving 2.5 and then giving my name, right? So if I just run this code, first of all I have to just print A, right? So after doing this, if I just run this code, you can see here the list is being printed here, right? Now the other thing is, here in the Python we have certain kind of functions for the list, right? So first of all, let me just comment out this one. Okay, now let me give it a heading for you guys so that you can understand what we are discussing here. So after this, one more thing I want to tell you here is, if I'm just making a list that is 1 or 2.23, then 3.25, right? And then if I just use the slicing method in it, you know what is slicing? Let me tell you the slicing here. Okay, so to use the slicing, you must have to know the indexing first. So here you can see, if I talk about the indexing of 1, the 1 is starting from the 0 index. So remember this thing, 1 is at the 0 index, 2.23 is at the 1 index, and 3.25 is at the second index, right? Let me give you the example of it here. Now if I just print a of 0, the at the 0 index you have 1, so it should give me 1, right? Let's see what it will give me, right? It is giving me here 1. Now if I just give it here the 2.23, uh, if I just give it here the 1, I'm giving here the indexing, so it will give me 2.23, right? Let's see, it is giving me 2.23, right? Now I want to just print out these all the elements. So what I can do here is, the one method is like you can do like this: a1, a0, a1, and then a2. So this is the one way you can print it down here, right? Okay. Now, what is the another thing that I can do to have the same list? So I want slicing here. The slicing, as the name itself says, the slice. That means it will just give me a particular kind of values from a index to the particular index, right? So let me give you an example here. If I just want to print, okay, I am just printing 0 to, this colon will refers to the 2, 0 to 2, right? So up to where I want to print, I just want 1 and 2.23 to print, right? So what I can give it here, I can give 1, 0 or 1. No, I will give it here 2. Why? Because remember this thing, if you are giving it a value after the colon, it will take it as a n minus 1, right? Let me show you the output of this. You can see 1 or and 2.23 it is giving. So remember this thing, if I'm just giving it 0 colon 2, it will give the value of 0 and 1. If I'm just giving it here the 0 colon 1, it will give me only 1. Let's see the output here, right? It is giving me only 1. So this is how the slicing was. You must have to know this, that if I'm giving a value after the colon, then it will be considered as a n minus 1, right? Now another thing I can do here is, if I just make it list with different kind of data types, right? I'm just giving it here my name, and then my surname I'm just giving here. Okay, and I want to have only these two values. So how can I get these two values in the list? So similarly, here we use 0, 1, 2, 3. It is on the 3 index, so I will just use 3. And I can give it here the index because it's the last element. I can give it here index or not. It is not necessary to give it index here. I can just simply write 3 colon. So it will take the whole values after the third index element, right? So let's see. So it is giving me here the Puneet Vashistha, the whole name of mine. So now another thing what I can do here is if I just want to print Vashistha Puneet, right? I want it in the reverse order. So what I can, whatever the value I will give to after the colon, it will just take it as up to, right? If I'm just giving it here -3 and just run this program, you can see it is giving me empty list, right? Because it is running from -1 to -3, right? So as you can see, -1, and I haven't given any kind of uh, the particular value, right? If I'm just not giving any kind of value, it will automatically take the indexing as 1, right? So if I just run this again, it will give me the same output, the empty list, right? So if I want to have this versus Puneet, I will use -1 here, right? So after running this, you can see the versus Puneet it is giving me. Okay, so this is how you can use the indexing. I will give you a kind of pop-up of image here so that you can understand this properly. All right, so another thing I can use here is the functions that is inbuilt in the Python, which I can use here, right? So to add any kind of element in the list, I can use here the append function. Append is somehow refers to the to entering the element at the end, right? So let me give you an example here. If I just want to a dot append and just entering an element here, let us suppose I'm entering the Spentarn now, right? And if I just want to print of a, right? And if I just run this code, it will give me Spentarn at the end. So append is doing its function by just adding the Spentarn at the end, right? Now, there is one more function that is insert, right? So there is a lot of confusion between insert and append. So here you can clear it. So if I'm just using a dot insert, so insert gives you a kind of benefit to use the index value, right? If you want to enter a value at the this index where the 2.23 is present, that means at the one position or one index. So I can use here the one comma, I want to use some element at the one position. What element I have to give it here? So I want to use like again I want to use here the company, right? Now if I just remove this one, if I just run this code, what with the output of here, right? It is giving me the one and company 2.23, 3.25 Puneet versus, right? Because I have given here the index of one, indexing 0, 1, right? So it is adding my company at the 1th position or 1th index, right? Now another kind of function here is pop and delete, right? So let me give you an example of pop. If I just use pop and doesn't give any kind of argument here, so what it will give me the output? Let's see. Pop means that it will just remove the last element, right? So let's see. Now, it is removing persist from this, right? As I've already told you, the pop function will remove the last element from the list. So now it has removed the persist from this list, right? Now, another function that I have already told you is remove, right? So I want to use the a dot remove. So in the remove, I will just give the element, which element I want to remove. So let us suppose I am just removing 3.25. Now, if I just run this code, you can see here it has removed the 3.25 from the list. So this is how the remove function works. Now, there is another one more function is delete, right? So the delete is not being written properly. So de I have to write. So then I can write the list name and I can give it here the slicing method, right? I can use the slicing method like I want to just remove 1 and 2.23 from here. So I can use 0th index 2 from where? Up to where I want to remove. I want to remove this 1th index also. So I will use 2 because in indexing or in slicing, uh, the last element that I will give after the colon would be n minus 1, right? So if I just run this code, you can see it has removed these two elements and the whole list that is remained is being printed here, right? So this is how you can use these certain functions with the list of Python, right? Now, this is how the list works. So a list is a kind of 1D array in which we have different kind of elements we can enter, right? Now, in the next lecture, we will just discuss about the tuples. So tuple, I will let you know that tuple is a kind of immutable data type in the Python, but or you can say sequence type in the Python, but the list is our uh, list is also a sequential data type, but it considers of a kind of mutable, right? We can change any kind of value by using its indexing. So this is the major difference between tuple and list, which I will let you know in the next lecture, right? Thank you so much for joining us.